Welcome to AD Dictation. Please subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get latest updates at first. If you have any query, then please let me know in the comment section below.
Ready, start. We all have gathered here for an important conference. It is important in the first instance because it is the first meeting of the state ministers of rural development, rural housing, and Panchayati Raj after my government took office in New Delhi. Hence, I must at the very outset both welcome you to this conference and thank you for giving me this opportunity to meet important representatives of the state government. But a greater reason that lends importance to this conference is its subject. Rural development, rural housing, and Panchayati Raj constitute an interdependent set of concerns which are at the very heart of India's present and future national development. Precisely because of this reason, they are at the heart of the national agenda for governance, which is the blueprint of my government's policies and priorities. To explain the importance of rural development in the context of our common dream of building a new India is a belabor the obvious. India is a land of villages. Between 60 and 70% of our population live in villages and is engaged in agriculture and allied activities. When it is said that India is an ancient nation and this fact makes all of us proud, it is well recognized that what constitutes her rich heritage is her village based culture and agriculture. It is on the solid foundation of this ancient culture that India is emerging as a potentially strong and modern economy. I have used the term potentially with deliberate intent and emphasis. It points to a historic possibility well within our reach. It also powerfully reminds us that the possibility of India becoming a strong economy and a strong nation depends crucially on the attention we pay to the all round development of our villages and our agriculture. This is where the subject of today's conference assumes its paramount importance. I would even go as far as to say that both from a short term and long term point of view, ministries of rural development, rural housing, and Panchayati Raj are the most important ministries in our union and state governments. I wish to underscore this core belief of mine because it goes against conventional wisdom and practice hitherto followed. Rural development is the engine of India's national development. For most parts of the post independence history, rural development did not figure as a national priority in terms of either financial investments or administrative attention. The result is there for all to see. Our food production has failed to catch up with the growth of our population, making food security a critical dimension of our national security. Public investment in agriculture and irrigation is nearly stagnant. Of those living in areas, as many as 25 crore people live below the poverty line. We need as many as 2 crore houses to be built or upgraded in rural areas in order to provide decent habitat to our rural poor. A majority of the houseless or ill-housed people villages belong to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Deprived of gainful and sustainable employment in the villages of their origin, millions of them migrate to towns and cities each year. There too, they live a life of deprivation. Let us look at another phase of the contemporary Indian reality. We pride ourselves in being the largest democracy in the world, and rightly so. But what is the health of our democracy at the grassroots level in our village panchayats? We have to admit that we as a nation have failed to tend the roots. When the roots are not well nourished, the tree cannot be very healthy. Thus, we see a cruel paradox. Village India, which has sustained our culture and economy, has been condemned to the state of backwardness. I am not here criticizing anybody or any party or any government. Let us admit that this has been our collective failure as a nation, and let us use the recognition of this bitter truth as the basis of a strong national consensus to give the top priority to rural development. We have stated in the national agenda that we will give a human face to the national development efforts with poverty eradication as the ultimate goal and removal of unemployment as the means. We have set for ourselves the goal of Berojgari Hatao, and we recognize that to achieve this goal, we have to upgrade the attack on unemployment and poverty into a national movement. Specifically, we are committed to provide drinking water to every village. We are committed to making our country hunger free in the next 10 years. Towards this end, we will be earmarking 60% of the plan funds for agriculture, rural development, and irrigation. Besides, we have stated that in our endeavor to facilitate construction of 20 lakh new housing units each year for the very poor people. Stop.